inserting parentheses. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is probably going to be one of those mistakes that on a test or quiz is just going to bug you. Because I remember I would have to mark students down because mathematically it would be incorrect. So it really comes down to paying attention. So in this example, we talked about condensing down to one logarithm. But these inserting parentheses can be important, for any operation or any types of mathematics. But it's really, really important once we are dealing with when we're dealing with expanding logarithms. So let's go and take a look at an example so I can show you how we're doing that. So if I have the ln of the square root of 3 divided by a 5x, okay? All right, so rules of exponents of expansion, I can rewrite this square root as a 1/2. So therefore I'll have an ln to the 3 over a 5x to the 1/2. I can bring that 1/2 out to the front. So now I have a 1/2 times the ln of a 3 divided by a 5x, okay? Now again, you can see I'm inserting these parentheses, or actually what I'm going to use is brackets in this case as well. And again, brackets is just another grouping term, okay? Now I can expand this as the difference, right? I have a quotient, I have a logarithm with a quotient. So I'm going to use parentheses there of what's in my quotient, or what's in my argument, which is a quotient. So I can expand that into the difference of two different logarithms. So I can rewrite this as a 1/2 ln of 3 minus the ln of 5x. And again, I'm just going to use my parentheses of grouping those two terms right here. Now here is where the parentheses are going to become so important, okay? So what's going to happen here is now I see that I can expand this into the into the sum of two logarithms. And here's where the mistake happens. So I have the ln of 3 minus the ln of 5 plus the ln of x, okay? Now, if you do not insert parentheses, this is the incorrect statement. Because again, if you follow these rules, if you follow the order of operations, you're going to go from left to right, which is going to be the difference. But then you're going to multiply. So this x is never actually going to go in, this x is going to be inside of that denominator, which actually is not correct, right? We know the x is in the denominator. So how do we resolve this? What we need to do is make sure we're inserting our parentheses right here, because this is the subtraction of ln of 5x. So it's the subtraction of this expansion. So we need to make sure we contain them in there. Now you might wonder, well, I know that x goes in the denominator when we do subtract, right? You're right. So if you want to not write parentheses, just distribute the negative to both terms. So you'd have a 1/2 ln of negative ln of 5 minus ln of x. And there you go. Then you can get away from parentheses. If you really want to play with fire, I would just recommend use your parentheses more often than not, because ladies and gentlemen, it is going to save you.